Good evening. I'd like to share with you some absolutely incredible photos. I feel they're absolutely incredible. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments. The person who submitted this to me, I'm going to leave his name blank uh, to keep him anonymous. And there was a lot of debate whether we tell people about this or show these pictures or how we talk about it and how we describe the story and then also the location. But the consensus between myself and the subscriber who sent these to me, he reached out, uh, was that this is more of like a public service to let you know that as illogical and as irrational as a dog man would seem, a 7.5 foot tall to 8 to 9, 10 foot tall dog man like creature, an upright walking canine would be, that they are out there and they have a very sinister side to them. It is not a false assumption to assume that they're carnivores. And from the native traditions and stories that have been heard around, these things are aggressive and can be very, very dangerous. Even if they were just some kind of biological animal that had no mysterious paranormal side to them, they would still be a big threat, just like if you were in the woods but you didn't know bears existed. So it was with much debate whether or not we reveal where these pictures took place, but I think we should, and I'm going to do that today. I have down to the exact stream and area, but I'm just going to give you kind of a generalized area of where it took place. And where it took place, to be honest, didn't really shock me. So let's look at the maps here. So this Dogman encounter that the subscriber sent to me took place in Northern California. California, even up to Fresno and going on up all the way down to the border and the desert regions, all through Palm Desert, through Death Valley. There's a lot of stories of dogmen all through there. So where this took place was the Jedediah Smith Redwood Park, way up north there. And this took place in the park. He was out there for the day, and he encountered this thing. The story was, I guess he was on a trail near a creek, and he came across this thing. Now, if you one thing, he took it with a cell phone. He took it with a newer Samsung Galaxy. And if anything you know about cell phone pictures, like trying to take a picture of an animal, is you might be 10 or 20 feet away, but the camera makes it look more like 50 feet away. So he was a lot closer than I think the pictures do it justice. So let's jump into the pictures here. Here's the first picture he snapped of this thing. He saw what it was. He could see it clearly. He could see it moving. And he thinks at first it didn't really know that he was there. Or if it did know that it was there, they were kind of sizing each other up. So he snapped this picture, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing, and he was quite frightened and intrigued at the same time, but he was able to get a picture off. But he wasn't happy with this particular first picture because you can see the branch up around where the head, the top of the area is kind of covering the face. So what he relayed to me is that he then decided to take another picture once it kind of moved and he kind of repositioned. And here's that picture where the face isn't obscured. You can clearly see the black outline of this thing. This thing is blacker than black, very dark. It almost looks like legs of a dog, but standing upright. And it has kind of a tapered chest similar to a human. Dogs are a lot more narrow. This has shoulders, which dogs don't. The arms look very man-like. The ears look long and have little tufts on them that have been reported and seen in other photographs. And it looks like you can see kind of a snout, maybe with its mouth open slightly there. You can see kind of an indentation. When I saw these pictures, I got goosebumps. Now, I'm not Bigfoot Tony or Thinker Thunker or any great analyzer. If those guys, email me, mattsquatchpresents@gmail, and I can send you these pictures. I'm more than happy to have your guys' analyzation. What I see here is I took the picture and I turned the exposure all the way up. Whenever I have dark silhouetted figures, this is the first thing I do. And what this tells me is turned all the way up, he's still really dark. So this was some really dark fur here, like jet black fur. You can kind of see the shading. This is the same zoomed in photo in black and white. Black and white sometimes helps you get the outline of this thing, and you can see a pretty broad shoulder, big trapezoid muscles, looks like kind of ear tufts and kind of a snout coming out there. What that white thing is, kind of between the as you're looking at it, right shoulder and nose, I'm not sure. Here's an extreme close-up of it. You can see the outline there, the waist. You can see the arms. You can see it kind of tapering. You see it looks like muscle bulges. You can see it kind of coming up to the shoulders there. and you see it kind of go on up, and you can kind of see its snout almost like there's still a branch blocking it slightly, and then you can see the little ear tufts on top. It is just absolutely incredible. So the subscriber described this creature as being pretty precisely at 7'4" or 7'5", so right around 7.5 feet tall, which is very tall. I know, like, the world's largest Great Dane standing up on its hind legs is maybe that tall, probably less. And when you look at them, dogs and bears are similar, that when you look at them standing up, they're very straight and very sloped. They don't have shoulders like the way this thing does. So this seems like your classic example of a hybrid-like creature between if you crossed a dog and a man, or a wolf and a man, like a werewolf, like people describe. So very eerie. Pictures are extremely rare. If you think pictures of Bigfoot are extremely rare, pictures of Dogman are extremely rare. To give you a little more background, he was on a trail when he spotted this thing, and he took the pictures and he booked it out of there, as you could understand. And what makes it remarkable is that he came across 2 other hikers that saw the same thing, and they talked about it, and then they all left. So to have pictures, multiple people saying that they saw the same thing in areas and parts of California that have been known to have dogmen before is pretty incredible. So I think the whole story is absolutely amazing, and I don't think it's a hoax. Now, Josh from YOWIES Down Under in WA, he's got a great channel, and it's weird how the world works with synchronicity. I had no idea he was going to do a video about dogmen, and he did, and he put it out a day or 2 ago, and it's the in-depth analysis of dogman, and it's really quite good. It talks about a lot. It's not super long, but he gets into it. It talks a lot about it not being a natural creature and fossil record, plus Josh's production values. He's been doing this YouTube thing not nearly as long as I have, but for some reason his production values and his narration and his quality is way better than mine. So go check him out. He's got a great channel. He talks about a lot of stuff. Even though he's from Australia, he does hit a lot of North American cryptids and cryptids around the world. So I just thought it was very good. He's a friend of the channel, and he pretty much hit it out of the park with his description of why these creatures are so odd and why they don't make sense. And you could sell somebody on a Bigfoot being an upright walking hominid creature because people are that, or upright walking apes because there's apes and fossil records, and going back to Gigantopithecus and all the way through all the Homo species. So it was pretty good timing that he came out with that video. The link's in the description below. I've also done some videos in the past on Dogman. If you'd like to go back and look at them, I think one of the first ones I did was Dogman, was animal or demon, and I've done some other ones since then. So what we have here are the same pictures I showed. I wanted to give you guys another look. You guys can really, get a good hard look at this. Like I said, this is increased exposure. I put it in photo editor and increased the exposure all the way up. This one is in black and white. Black and white, like I said earlier, you get a very clear picture of what's going on. It really helps kind of differentiate. And it looks like you can see elbows and arms and shoulders, and it looks like even muscle bulges. And it looks like the one ear looks like a little bent with a tuft on the end, and the other one's kind of up. Here's a very extreme close-up. Now, I understand this is very pixelated, and no picture is ever clear enough, if you know what I mean. But I still think this is pretty incredible. What gets me is the V in this thing's torso there, and the shoulders, and what appears to be muscles and the bulging. I don't know enough to know about Photoshop. I know it's hard to Photoshop, or nearly impossible, behind things, like to Photoshop something behind leaves. So if you guys know any experts or have any tips out there, please leave them in the comment. Please be more constructive than just fake, fake, fake. That's very disrespectful, because I do believe this is real. I do believe the guy's story. He seemed legitimately scared, and I think these things are a real threat. And like I said, this is kind of a big public service announcement. These things are out there. They can be dangerous, and there are just a lot of things we don't understand. Please stay safe in the woods, folks. And if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe the video. It really helps me out and helps the channel grow. Thank you.